Oh,
Hi, Alex.
hey. How you doing?
Good. What a surprise to see you
Yeah.
here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, sorry. Right. Hey guys, Alex Lindbloom here from Snorkel Venture with the latest episode of our new podcast. Today I'm very excited as we have a very special guest. And I'd just like to say that this person is way more special than our previous guest, Marcus Blake, who, as you probably saw, is a little bit blah. Okay. For those of you who don't know me and Marcus's relationship, he's actually a very good friend, and public verbal slander is how we express affection for one another. Anyway, back to our current guest, who I'm also proud to call a very good friend. This lovely lady is one of the original Snorkel Venture crew, an OG of the snorkel industry, if you will. She led the inaugural Snorkel Venture trip alongside Big Boss Ben back in 2019 and has been instrumental in turning Snorkel Venture into the well-oiled machine that it is today. Please allow me to introduce to you our steward of spreadsheets, our ombudswoman of organizing, and the lady of laughter, Bernita Lewin.
Hi.
Camera's over there.
Hi.
Cheers, Bernita.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How comfortable do you feel right now?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Cool. Let's just keep that rolling.
Let's go.
So, an official. How are you, Bernita?
I'm brilliant, actually.
Brilliant?
Yes.
Cool. What have you been up to? You been doing anything cool? Doing anything cool lately?
Best day evs.
Best day evs?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Today, I went snorkeling first with a school of uncountable mobula rays.
Okay.
Felt like every ray in the ocean
Mm-hmm.
had turned up on this one site for us to snorkel. It was ridiculous.
Where are we?
We're in Mexico. Good point. We're in Mexico on a pelagic snorkel expedition,
Correct.
so to speak. So that was this morning.
I'm glad you were able to answer that.
And then we went on our merry way and found a family of orcas that we got into the water with and saw them eating turtles, and they were very playful and friendly, and it was spectacular.
Just to reiterate, they were eating turtles.
They were eating turtles.
They were eating turtles. It was crazy. They were eating we watched them eat like 3 or 4 different turtles.
It was day of my life.
But like eating turtles like right here.
Yeah, centimeters away from our faces.
Were you scared?
There was one moment where I was like, is it going to stop coming towards my face? The rest of the time I was enthralled.
It was wild. It was almost like they were trying, there was that one moment where they brought the turtle up, and then there was like 2 just static on the surface with like a turtle just kind of dismembered in front of us.
With his like stomach hanging out. It's a little bit graphic.
It was almost like it was like trying to like share it with us or something like that.
I don't know about touching orca food.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch orca. I wouldn't. No. Might ride an orca, but yeah, it was crazy. And so, that's only day 2 of the trip so far. Yesterday we had all the just hours of just swimming over just carpets of the mobula rays, which are like a small manta about maybe this big or so.
Yeah, spectacular.
Yeah, that was your
good
first
2
time.
Days. I hope the next 4 are as good as the first 2.
I don't even care. Like we've already
we've killed it. Absolutely.
Okay, we can go out and just look at pelicans the rest of the trip, and I don't know, it's still a
we'll be fine. Totally.
Okay, cool. So that's what you've been up to.
That's what I've been up to.
And then we've got a few more days of that left.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also probably why this is not a white balance issue, this is just a sun issue on my face, and why it's the exact same color as Bernita's
It's
top.
very hard to believe because you don't see Alex's face on tour because he has the most ridiculous sun hat on. He has a buff that goes from under his sunglasses down to the top of his rash vest, gloves, and his long wetsuit pants on at all times. So I'm not sure how this happens, actually.
It's just, I'm just blessed with, just...
Ginger complexion.
Yes.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Okay. Fine. Anyway, yeah, zinc oxide, full super awesome sun hat. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. You're all.
However, walk
fine.
like a normal person.
You've been like bathing in the sun. I'm like hiding in the shade, just in 3 mil neoprene. God, I'm so hot and uncomfortable right now. Hey, Bernita.
Hey, Alex.
Hey. So, there's no doubt there's a lot of people out there who know who you are, given your position at Snorkel Venture. But maybe given your role at Snorkel Venture, there's probably not a lot of people who've met you in person.
Only the lucky few.
Only the lucky few, yes. So, would you mind just giving us a quick little background on how you ended up here at Snorkel Venture and in this position you are now?
Sure. How I ended up at Snorkel Venture.
Yeah, maybe let's take it back 10 years. Let's just keep it
in the last 10
Let's just
years.
keep it at under 30 minutes.
Okay. So how I ended up at Snorkel Venture, I've known Big Boss Ben for 25 years.
That is his official title, it's Big Boss Ben.
Official title. And when he started his first company, Dive Safari Asia, I begged to be allowed to work for him, basically. He laughed and thought I was joking. I wasn't. He finally employed me under duress, and we've been together ever since. No, so we ran Dive Safari Asia, and then a number of years later we started Snorkel Venture, and I was like Ben's happy helper. But I like to do things the way I like to do things, so I basically just took over all the admin and organization, because
this is after Dive Safari Asia, or is this during?
Even during, the A-type in me is not to be tamed.
Reckoned with.
Yeah. And so I'm now operations manager, mostly because I wouldn't let anyone else do the job, I guess.
I was so terrified of you when I started, and like you started talking about spreadsheets, like do not touch these spreadsheets.
Yeah. Don't edit the spreadsheets. That's the one cardinal rule. You can do anything, but do not edit the spreadsheets.
Okay.
That's it. So here I am.
So you were leading the trips, but then also doing the admin and stuff like that for DSA.
So sales, admin, and leading the tours, and now I accompany tour leaders from time to time on tours.
Just to spot check the tour leaders and the.
I'll let you believe that, and all other tour leaders listening to this podcast.
You're on a lot of my tours recently.
Now I go on tours a couple of times a year, mostly for fun.
Yep.
And the rest of the time I'm at a computer, which I also weirdly enjoy. Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like an organized row of boxes with colorful colors. We're just nice pastel tone colors.
I
and
agree.
Then all of just everything nice and organized. I do like a good spreadsheet.
I know you do. That's why we get along so well.
It is. Right, okay, so that Snorkel Venture started in 2019, and that's when...
That was our first tour.
That was our first tour, yeah.
2018.
Yeah. So that's when I started with... Ben hired me for DSA, and he was like... he'd approached me, and he's like, oh, would you like to work for Dive Safari? We've got this company called Dive Safari Asia, I'd like to lead some trips and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it sounds great. So I joined. And then just as I joined, he was also like, by the way... We've just started a snorkel company. You're probably going to have to lead a snorkel trip from time to time. And I was like, oh, you hoodwinked me. And,
I'm a diver.
And never led a dive trip, which I'm so thankful for, because having only led snorkel trips now, looking at all the gear that goes into diving and all the other bottom times and group organization and stuff like that, it's so much more finite and you're so much more restricted in so many ways.
Totally. I don't even know when last I dived.
Yeah.
I'm fully converted to snorkeling.
That brings me to my next question. So there's a lot of divers. I mean, we get this on tour, especially when we're at resorts, when there are divers around, like at Peninsula Resort or Wakatobi or something like that. The diver table, who's separate from us, we charter our own boats and everything, so we have our own separate snorkeling group. The divers look over at us, or they'll often come over and, what are you guys doing here? You guys are just snorkeling, but you don't see as much. And there's always like this little friendly confrontation between the snorkelers and the divers. And
friendly.
How? Yeah. Just rage inside.
Exactly.
Would you say, having come from a background of diving, like a lot of the guides at Snorkel Venture now, working full-time snorkeling and still doing a lot of snorkeling, would you say that statement is true? Especially after all the things that we just saw today.
Okay, firstly,
Do you
you wouldn't
see
have been
more
able to
diving?
see any of those things if
Yeah.
you were diving. And you wouldn't be able to jump in and out of the water. Like once you hit the water with the tank on, you have to be out for an hour.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the orcas want to come and give you a little kiss on the cheek, you have to be out the water. So there's that. And also, I think the thing for most divers is we don't spend a lot of time in the proper shallow water.
Yeah.
Even 5 meters isn't the top of the reef in most cases. So we think you wouldn't see a lot because we've never actually tried. But as snorkelers, I think we see way more actually.
Yeah.
Way more in much better light with much better color, much safer, much more chilled, much more time.
Bigger things too.
Lots of big things.
Yeah.
My first dugong.
Yep. Where do you see that?
Komodo.
Oh, okay.
Mantas, sunfish, mola, orca, mobula raised by the bajoules. Like loads of things I never really saw in diving.
Yeah. And like all of those things, like a lot of those things you just listed, the mola, orcas, mobulas, like all these things, dugongs, you couldn't feasibly do it on scuba. And everything that you do out here, you can't dive with them. They won't let you. It's not you can't
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
legally do it.
And the animals don't, as far as I understand, don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
They don't tend to hang around with divers as much as they hang around with snorkelers.
Yeah.
So that's awesome for us.
Okay, good.
So I'm
Snorkeling.
sold, basically.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
snorkeler.
Same. So let's just talk about Bernita. Is that how I pronounce your name? Bernita?
That's how you pronounce my name. And most Americans, it's not how I pronounce my name.
Just to be clear, it's spelt Bernita.
Yeah, so I could see why you would think it was pronounced Bernita,
Yeah.
but that doesn't even come out of my mouth. It's like uncomfortable for me to say. My name is actually Bernita, pronounced Binita, but spelled Bernita, kind of as a mistake by my father on my birth certificate. I was named after someone called Benny, and I, to this day, have no idea why my father thought there should be an R in Bernita.
Oh, so he intentionally put the R in there.
Well, there was an R, but there was no discussion of an R prior to the birth certificate.
It's like a
being
silent
written.
R.
Well, now it is, except now that I work with Americans who like to say Bernita.
Well, we're just reading the words that were printed in front of us.
Okay, read it as Benita.
So, yeah, because I was always confused on the emails and stuff. There's Benny. And I thought they were talking about Ben. I was like, somebody really is screwing up here because they're spelling Ben's name wrong.
You're not the first.
But I found out much later that it was in...
Ben is my nickname. And when Ben and I are on tour together, it's hilarious every time someone says Ben. Both of us are like, yes.
So it's just a clerical error now. You're
Clerical
stuck.
error I'm stuck with, and I'm okay with it.
Okay, all right, good. So now that we've established that, you spend a lot of time in the office and you get a lot of the inquiries from guests. You pretty much see every email that comes through Snorkel Venture, either with it, whether it's in regards to tours or bookings, but you also see the questions, and we do get quite a few questions, either camera related or gear related. And so one of our more popular questions, as I understand, is what snorkel gear do I need on tour? Would you like to, for this particular trip, share with us your current snorkeling ensemble? Please don't leave out. No detail is too small, okay?
Okay, so the basics on my mask, snorkel and fins.
Okay.
I've had the same pair of snorkeling fins since we started.
Yep.
Ben brought them to Asia for me when we met for the first snorkel tour. They are a full fit Maras, probably like a Vanti Quattro maybe, I think. They're super comfortable.
Those are a great fin.
They're not like super long, so
Yeah.
they fit in a normal suitcase, but they're not short and stubby. So I feel like I can still...
We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
I can still swim properly with them, very comfortably.
Yeah, I used to have those fins too. They're great.
Yeah, I love them. So that's the essentials.
When you say full foot, for those of you who don't know, the full foots are the ones with like the rubber pocket, not the strap where you need the booty or whatever.
Yeah.
And so these are great for just about every single one of our resorts or anything, because we are entering the water from a boat, and we're not walking over the shore where you would need to put a booty on or something like
Exactly.
that. Yeah. So these are great for just every snorkel venture tour.
The thing I don't like about boots for snorkeling is they're very buoyant.
Yeah.
The neoprene in them is buoyant, so I find it quite difficult to have my fins under the surface to kick, which is how I prefer to kick when I snorkel.
Yeah, I agree. There's also like a added drag and stuff like that.
It's not comfortable for
One
me.
more thing to pack and wear.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, open, full foot's the way to go.
Agreed.
So
those are the bare essentials.
Okay.
I myself like to travel with a few other bits and pieces, which Alex likes to mock quite openly.
Don't, I would never.
So I feel like snorkeling is a fun activity and one should dress for fun and blend with the reefs and fishes as much as is possible. So on this particular tour, I have a pair of lycra leggings, which is a lovely coral reef scene.
They're very cool, and I've seen so many of our guests with these exact leggings.
Yeah, they're super cool.
I'll post a photo.
And the second pair I have are new. This is their first tour feature, which I like to call them mermaid scales. Alex thinks they look like fish scales, but he's wrong. And they're brightly coloured and beautiful. And I wear those with a Snorkel Venture rash guard and a 3 mil, like a thermal long sleeve rash vest over, which is perfect because the water's really warm. Obviously, Alex is in a fully hooded 2-piece 3 mil frickin' I don't know what. The rest of us are like, oh, it's so warm and nice. Alex is like,
I'm actually really hot on this. The water's a good temperature, but we're not in it a long time because we're like in and out, in and out. And then most of the time I'm just baking in the sun in my rubber outfit.
Unlucky for you.
Yeah, it is unlucky for me.
That's why his face is that colour.
Yeah, it's just heat rash.
Yes, so that's what I snorkel in. I don't like to have to apply lots of sun cream, so I feel like, I mean, not the bath, the big hat, the gloves, but I like generally most of my body to be covered when I'm in the sun for the whole day.
Because like this trip, again, we're in and out of the water quite a bit as we enter with the different pelagics that we encounter. But like on a normal snorkel venture trip, like when we go to Chandrawasi together and we're in the water for 4 or 5 hours at in 1 or 2 hour blocks, covering up is essential. Like that little bit behind, like
where your fins and your leg don't meet.
Just on your ankle. Oh my God, it's like rhino skin on mine. It's just so weather beaten.
But I find everybody thinks it won't happen to them. Everybody thinks their skin is used to sun.
Yeah.
It isn't. It happens to everybody. Everyone fries. Everyone thinks they won't.
Not this equatorial sun where we are. Like when we're in Raja Ampat, we're just literally just a few miles below the equator, and it is intense.
Did you just say equator?
Equator. What did you say?
Equator?
Equator.
No. No.
Equator.
No. Equator?
It's equator.
Oh, no, it's really
Ecuador.
Oh God. Please tell me you're going to edit yourself saying that out.
No, that's all of none of this is getting edited out.
Beautiful.
We're just below the equator. I'm not used to having you razz me about my way of speaking.
Usually only goes the other way.
I just poke the English. Duxie, Dalton's Irish, but
still counts.
Still counts. Okay. Yeah. So covering up is good. When you come to, so we have a trip in Chandrawasi soon. Again, where the water is pretty warm, would you wear neoprene or anything like that? So a lot of guests might want neoprene because
I don't mind neoprene. I don't like anything thicker than 3 mils because I find it hard to get on and off, and
you stay pretty warm in the water regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my very cool neoprene wetsuit, which has lots of flowers on it.
This is good. This
has
is so good.
Unfortunately had to be passed on to its next life. Okay, firstly, I just want to say its next life is very exciting because there's a organization here in Mexico that takes wetsuits and makes jackets for kids in Mexico City.
Oh, I had no idea about that. You kept talking about it, but
I know, and you were looking at me
I thought you were just,
No, it's a real thing.
Okay.
Genuine. So I hope it's going to be a little girl who gets my lovely florals.
Just gets wearing neoprene and the There's a reason we're inside right now. It is like
It's
8,000 degrees
It's
outside.
like 97. It's
so
ridiculous.
hot.
Okay, so I would have otherwise taken that wetsuit, but that wetsuit's life has been lived.
And how long? So, when you bought, I remember the store when you first showed up on that in Dominican Republic a couple years ago. You just bought it. You were so proud of it. You bought it at like just some local curio shop in downtown Cape Town, just beneath the Cape Town cliffs. And she's from South Africa. You couldn't tell from the accent.
Mm-hmm. And the cliffs are Table Mountain, in case anybody's
It's
wondering.
Cape Town cliffs. So you just bought it like just some souvenir shop. You did like you.
So I liked the wetsuit, and I told you I like to wear fun, colourful things. So I liked the wetsuit. Was it necessarily the best long-term economical buy? No.
Okay.
But
it was pretty.
It was pretty.
Okay.
And when we were in Dominican Republic, I was sitting in the boat on like a little step that had sandpaper to prevent slippiness.
Yes.
And that sandpaper wore down the seating area on my wetsuit.
The bottom.
More quickly than would otherwise have happened.
Okay.
But when we go to answer your question, when we go to Chandrawassi, I have a thermocline. What is it called? Thermocline.
Fourth element thermocline.
Yes.
The leggings.
Like the leggings and the top, and
Yeah.
I'll take that in case I get cold.
Would you recommend that sort of thing to a lot of our guests who are worried? I mean, on like a normal snorkel venture trip, where not these pelagic expeditions like we're on now, would you recommend some sort of thermal protection, either in the form of neoprene or in the form of these new fourth element thermals?
Yeah, being cold is unpleasant, and once you get cold, it's very hard to reheat yourself. Every time you get in the water, you get cold. I like the two-piece thermocline because you can like adjust how much or how little protection you're wearing at a time.
Yeah, you can just wear a top, for example, and then just some, like yoga leggings or whatever.
Exactly.
Or your mermaid scale leggings.
And it's like a bit like pajamas. They're super soft and comfy.
So comfy.
They're easy to get on and off. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard. Like you said, it's really hard to heat up once you get cold. Even though the water might be 82 or 28, your internal body temperature is a lot higher than that. The internal body temperature is 98.6. I don't know what that is in your...
38.
Yeah, so 38. So it's the whole 10 degrees Celsius. The water is 10 degrees Celsius cooler, and your body's just working harder to bring up its levels. And so once you get cold, it just opens you up to things like cold, like actually, like not feeling cold, but colds and
getting a cold.
illness and yeah. Okay.
So
good.
I do recommend it.
All right. Well, I'm glad we thanks for being so open about your floral design wetsuit that you purchased. I'm never going to live
the floral design down. If anyone is interested, let me just show you.
Oh yeah, there's a photo of it.
There's a photo of the floral design. I don't know if you can see, but on the arms here are some beautiful pink and purple flowers.
Yep. I'm gonna actually. This was a question I was going to bring up to you. Issue 2 of our Snorkel Venture magazine. There's a little inside Snorkel Venture, catching up with the travel team, and you are featured on the front of it here. Would you mind? Could you just briefly explain to the viewers what we're looking at here?
We are looking at me snorkeling merrily, looking down at a sleeping whale, which was amazing. Probably 20 meters down, very hard to see in murky water.
This was such a fun day.
And, tooling around, and Alex caught my attention, and so I was kind of like making faces, saying like, "Ha ha, yes, good time for."
I was like pointing my camera at her, like
good time for.
It wasn't
photos.
casual. It was just like.
It felt casual.
You were just like, yeah.
Meanwhile, there was a humpback whale right next to me, which is what was caught in the picture. And I eventually cottoned on and turned around and literally went, jumped out the water.
There's this like 15-meter humpback whale that just surfaced right behind her, about 3-4 meters away, and I'm trying to take a photo of Bernita kind of posing next to it, and she's giving me the peace signs.
Well, they're very quiet for such big creatures.
They don't have that. Like anytime you watch like the natural history documentaries, it's like the whale sounds, and they don't do that all the time. You don't hear them coming up.
And you can't tell distance, even if they are doing it. It could be a whale far off, not the one sneaking up.
Because there was a lot of whale sounds on that trip.
Yeah,
Anyway, okay, good. So let's talk about fins quickly and fin lengths.
Yeah.
So this is another thing we get a lot of on our tours, is we get a lot of people showing up with fins about this long because they can pack them in their hand carry bag or their backpack or something like that. Meanwhile, we don't have too many people coming with the long fins, but then, I think, how do you feel about the short fins? That's my question.
I think they're quite ineffective in the water in terms of propulsion.
Yeah.
And if there's current, which there's often water movement, maybe not like strong current, but the water moves. And if you need to reposition yourself, or I'm not going to say fight against the current because we don't generally do that, but even reach the boat in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult when you basically barefoot.
Yeah.
No offense, but basically barefoot. Please buy yourself real fins.
Yeah.
Basically. Or rent real fins.
I love how diplomatic you were about the whole thing. It's like, just buy yourself real fins.
Yeah, please.
These little fins are very kind of problematic on tour because, like, you might need to get back to the boat. Like, today, we need to get back to the boat quick so that we can get in and redrop. Or sometimes we do encounter counter currents where you have to go against it for maybe 30 seconds or a minute, and it's not really that strong, but when you have these little fins,
you go nowhere.
But
a lot of work to go very little distance, and it's much less work, much less exertion just to kick 3 times with normal fins.
But meanwhile, like the fins that you have, those Maras Avanti Quattros, those are like my favorite snorkel fins. They're not super stiff. Like anybody of any physical, with even people who are maybe a little bit more physically limited in their movements or whatever, can still propel themselves effectively and use these without...
And I travel with like a medium suit check-in bag, so it's not tiny like carry-on, but it's not those huge bags either, and they fit perfectly in there.
Yeah. Switching gears a little bit, getting away from fins. We're going to stop talking about fins.
Great.
Fins. Let's talk about choosing the right trip for different people. So we have we offer a lot of different tours here at Snorkel Venture. We have we have a lot of liveaboards, or anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and then we also have a lot of resort-based trips, which are anywhere from 10, 11 days to upwards of like 21 days with 3 different stops. So everyone, while all of these visit similar destinations, how would you best, in your position, you deal with this a lot, how do you normally advise people or what to look for in a good trip for them that suits them well?
So I think there's like a few major questions I ask first. Do you have a preference of resort or liveaboard?
Yeah.
And then I send your handy link to the blog, which is great. Is there a particular time of year you want to travel? And is there a particular length of time you want to travel? Just to narrow it down.
Okay.
I think liveaboard versus resort.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I personally quite love a liveaboard because it's very snorkel focused. You tend to spend quite a lot of time in the water, and you kind of wake up, eat, snorkel, eat, snorkel, eat, snorkel, eat, go to bed, which to me is the perfect day.
Yeah.
The resorts, some of the resorts are worth going to because they are just stunning in beautiful locations, and they're often house reefs, which also have huge really nice, benefits. Which on a liveaboard you don't really have that option. So I think that's personal preference.
Yeah.
Then time of year, and length of time. Some of the destinations are quite far from where our guests live, so it can be a bit of a schlep to go just for 10 days. So if you have more leave time or flexibility in your schedule, I always think more is more, basically. Yep. Also because not everyone has the opportunity to do multiple trips. So if you're going to do a trip, do the one that best suits you immediately, and then if you get to do another one, massive bonus. Yeah. But you don't know what the future's going to hold. So if you can, the 2 resort trips or 3 resort trips are pretty special.
Yeah. So it's like if it was somebody's very first time coming on a snorkel venture tour, it's probably a good idea to jump on a resort-based trip.
I agree.
There's a bit more travel time maybe, there's a little bit more flying depending on the destination. But some place like Belize, for example, that's a great at Turneffe, because that's a very easy stop for our guests coming from North America. Yeah. It's a 10-day trip, 1 week, 10-day trip now, depending on the year you book.
But I think also the resorts, the benefit of the resorts is there's sometimes other things to do. Like you can go for a walk if you want to. Paddleboard. Look, there might be more birding opportunities or little curio shops along the way, things like that, which on the liverboard you don't always see.
Yeah.
And some people feel like they get more of a cultural, immersive experience at a resort than on a liverboard. But I think that depends on the crew also.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love our liverboard. I mean, I love our resort base, but just because for a snorkel trip, I want to spend as much time in the water and have as much control over the time in which you jump in. Yeah. Because current tide play a really big factor in getting in the water for the best possible time. Whereas resorts, you're a little bit more limited by travel time, because you have travel time anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes to the site, and then time just kind of eats into your day.
And the weather.
And the weather too.
So on a liverboard, you've got much more choice of where to go. If you know the weather's not going to be great, you can reroute. Yeah. Essentially, which is amazing. Yeah. And from a resort, they're kind of stuck. You're stuck, but there's certain bays where you can find protection, but it's just not the variety of options. Yeah.
And when when you're stuck, sometimes you get stuck in weather for a day or something like that on a liverboard, and
but you can move out of it.
You can move out of it. But when you're stuck in weather in a resort for a couple of days, you've got a very nice room to chill out.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think you nailed that.
Oh, thank you, Alex.
I set you up and you knocked it down. So not including the tours you're already joining with me, Chandawasi Bay, coming up in about 3 weeks' time. Mm-hmm. Which tour of our current portfolio would you like to join? What tickles your fancy?
The Bandasi.
The Bandasi?
The Bandasi. The one
we have several different Bandasi. Which
the one that starts in Raja Ampat, I think it's on the Mermaid.
Oh, that's on the Mermaid too. It's my former home.
It is. Raja Ampat and goes to Momera, I think.
Yep.
So.
Why the Bandasi?
Well, it includes Raja Ampat and Alor, two of my all-time faves.
Yep.
Love Alor.
Yeah.
And possibility for like exploration, unknown, possibly like a big thing coming past. I do like the notion that anything can happen, and in some of these places there's like a real chance that something totally unexpected will come past.
Yeah.
Which I love.
That is a crazy, I'd say that's a fairly good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
I agree with that choice. I'm very excited. I was really happy that when you sent that over to me, I was like, can you make a trip page for this? I was like, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so that's a 16-day trip.
I know, which is another reason I would like to do it. It covers a lot of ground.
And man, you're covering, I can't remember how many nautical miles it is. I don't even know what a nautical mile is versus a regular mile. Anyway, massive.
I don't know what a mile is, because I am not
It's 5,268 feet or something. Just like a nice easy number for everybody to remember. Just a nice round number.
It's easy to work with.
I know we're going to get some comments on that now. And just be like, in miles, actually 3,000.
Anyway.
Anyway, Bandasi, amazing.
I think is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So I've done that trip quite a few times, diving, but I've done some of the snorkeling sides of it, but we've done a couple different Bandasi trips now, and man, there's so much to see.
They've all been great, and I'm jealous of all of them, so that would be the one I'd want to go on most.
Okay. Yeah, you've got like Manuk with like the sea snakes.
Yeah, I've never been there.
That place is crazy. Full of sea snakes, and then the Banda Islands are there. I mean, they're super special.
And I think also like from a top side point of view, when you travel through those small islands, it's just so spectacular, and there's so few boats. It's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like each day, especially once you get into like the Forgotten Islands, after you leave the Bandas, and then you head down through the chain of what are commonly called the Forgotten Islands. Every day you wake up on a new island.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to go? For me, that's I'll go on that one day, definitely.
Okay. You come on that with me? We've got space right now.
I'm going to be in Missile.
Okay.
Which is not terrible. Oh. I know. I mean, Missile will be amazing, but if they weren't overlapping, I would definitely go to Bandasi also.
Yeah, that would be that's a great trip. And I mean, it's also a great boat. Like, Mermaid's been out there exploring the Banda. I mean, they've been running those Bandasi trips for years now, probably the better part of 15 years, maybe 20 years
So
now.
they know it well.
They know it well.
Exactly where to go.
And they know exactly how snorkelers like it. We've run a lot of trips with them, and they know their guides are awesome. And yeah.
So
they
I'm
know it real
sad
good.
I can't do it. But
Okay. Well, I'll tell you,
one.
I'll be sure to give you live updates. And you can send me live updates from Peninsula, and I'll send you live updates from the Bandasee. Because I'll be leading that trip.
Of course.
As far as...
Yeah, no, you're leading that trip.
Okay. Cool. So the Bandasee, anything else?
Everything in Mexico ever.
Everything in Mexico ever. Yeah.
I love it here.
It's so good.
There's so much to see.
Minus the oppressive heat outside in June, July, and August.
However, when you're on the water, you don't feel the heat
No.
so much. It's just when you're here, and we have aircon, so it's not terrible.
These rooms are nice.
The rooms are stunning, but this is my second trip to Mexico.
That's
it
right.
will not be my last trip to Mexico.
Yep.
In fact,
Isn't that right, Ben?
I'm not sure I will ever be comfortable running a trip to Mexico that I'm not on. I'll be so jealous. I love the unknown, like the possibilities. It's not so much unknown, it's the possibilities that are here. There's everything. Yeah. The water has everything in it. It's just a matter of how lucky you get to be close to something spectacular on a particular day. And like, you can't say that about everywhere.
No. I mean, let's just, okay, so now that we're talking about Mexico, let's just talk about the trip that we're on right now. We're on the first ever for Snorkel Venture, the Mexico Mobula run. You ran several trips a few years ago that were more shark-based.
Ocean safari, yeah.
Ocean safari, but now we've kind of pivoted a little bit. So now we're doing like these, what we call Mexico Mobula expeditions, where we're going for the Mobula rays, but then there's also a whole bunch of other things that can be seen besides Mobulas.
As we saw today.
Yeah. And we're only on day 2 right now.
I know, and it's been insane.
So why is this trip so special? Or what do you think why do you think this trip is so interesting?
Okay, so from the minute you arrive, it's interesting. Like the drive here, you're driving on a road through what I would think of as like a semi-arid desert, where there's a mix of green trees and huge cactuses. To me, that is already very cool.
Quite a few cactuses.
Super cool already.
Yeah.
I love Mexican food. Again,
who doesn't?
Massive bonus. And our partner in Mexico is phenomenal. Phenomenal and enthusiastic and knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And the boats are comfortable. Everything about I can't fault it.
Yeah.
I actually can't fault it. I have to say there is a chance that some of the days, and on my previous trip it was like this also, where there's a lot of in-between time where you're not looking at something in particular, or you're just watching the pelicans or the frigate birds or whatever, which is a wonderful treat anyway. But when you do see something, it's usually something life-changing and exciting.
Just like your heart starts, like the adrenaline
is pumping.
Yeah.
And that is just so cool. And to see things that there's no opportunity to see anywhere else.
Yeah. And to get into like what we just experienced today was, that was a massive bucket.
Both of the things we saw today.
Box tick, yeah.
Yeah. The mobulas, like carpets, thousands, uncountable numbers of rays, which is almost makes you almost dizzy because you can't tell, are the rays moving? Am I moving? Is the water moving?
Am I seeing the same rays, or is this just like one?
A conveyor belt of it's very hard to even. There's just so many.
Like I didn't jump in on the first one today with you guys, but yesterday on that last jump, it was like 20 minutes of just rays passing underneath you, and you're like, when is this ending? Am I at the beginning of the end, or like what is happening?
It felt like every ray in the world came to that congregation yesterday and swam past us.
Yeah, it's wild. And then to go from that to, like, we got out with you guys got out with the mobulas today. I was flying the drone and then landed, and then you guys got back in, and then Fernanda got a call, and it was all in Spanish, and then she was like, guys, there's something cool we need to go to. We
might be able to see. I'm not going to tell you what, just in case.
And then within half an hour of leaving, we were in the water with orcas predating on turtles. Just
that's with the baby. It was. Everything about it was just
crazy.
Phenomenal.
And then tomorrow, we're going to do a slightly different itinerary. We'll go up to the island, maybe, or who knows what else we'll see. But like dolphins, there's so much stuff. to see.
So much stuff. So I'm very excited for the next few days, and for every Mexican trip.
Yeah,
Basically.
every Mexican trip that you're going to be on. You're going to be on every Mexico trip, is that?
Then, yes, hopefully.
Hey, so we're going to pivot again.
You go for
Okay,
it.
we've had some guests send in some questions, okay? Just like we did for Marcus. I'm not going to read the first name of the person, but I'll just read the last name just for a little bit of anonymity.
Because I'm not at all familiar with people's first or last names.
Yeah. So the first question comes from an N. Liang. Is this somebody you know? Mm-hmm. Close personal friend, guest? What is?
No,
anyway.
not met, but chatted with.
Okay, good. Well, she seems to be a fan of you. If you were told you could only go on one more snorkel before being forbidden to snorkel ever again, I don't know who's forbidding you from snorkeling ever again. Maybe it's Ben. Ben, I think, is maybe the only one who might attempt.
Try that. Yeah.
So anyway, if you were to go on one snorkel,
Okay.
not one destination, one snorkel. I guess a destination would play into this. Where would you go and why?
Okay. I'm going to give two answers.
Okay,
Sorry.
2 is acceptable.
Okay. So one would be the West Komodo Allure tour.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a bit cheaty, I know, because I'm including 2 destinations.
I mean, that is... Okay,
But it's one tour.
Okay. So let's just say, how about we just narrow it down to West Komodo? Because you've been to Allure.
I know, but Allure, I love Allure so much.
Allure's pretty special.
Allure is one of my absolute top. Okay, Allure, I'm going to go for Allure.
You're going to go back?
Oh. Okay, well...
It's a good choice.
It is. Allure is in my top. I love it. I think the corals there are spectacular.
It's the most colourful
Fish.
reefs.
Undoubtedly, and the variety of fish and like bottom dwelling cool critters and stuff, super cool.
Good.
Okay.
Acceptable. What's your
Possible
second?
mola.
So basically you've chosen 3.
Yeah. Okay, but now I've narrowed down to Allure.
Okay, Allure or...
Okay. I'm just gonna say the options so they're out there, but then I'll give a definitive. Okay, I also really like Triton Bay.
Ooh,
I'm going to skip over that now that it's got a mention and say Mexico. For all the reasons I've just listed.
Why don't we do a Triton Bay, Mexico trip?
Oh, because it's so an easy route. That's an easy route.
It is an easy route, yeah.
Those internal flights would be amazing.
West Papua to Cabo San Lucas. I mean, I think they have direct flights from Sarong or Mount Macquarie.
It would be a disaster. But Triton Bay is very special. And Mexico... Look, I'm going through a bit of a phase where I like pelagics.
Yeah, it's a weird phase.
This is a place to be for that.
Yeah.
But for reef, I would say Allure.
Allure's, yeah, most colourful reefs of anywhere in Indonesia, if not the world I've ever been to.
So lively.
Yeah. Just all that.
I love.
All the what we call confetti fish just exploding from the reef.
In like unison, little dances. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll get you with Mexico. If I had to pick one place, it would be. I mean, not anywhere Mexico, but like. Baja, Mexico.
Yeah,
Sea of Cortez, what's outside right now? Baja, Mexico.
Winning.
Yeah. Good. So we've had another question come through. This person sent in a voice memo. Yeah, look at your eyes.
Do tell.
Right. So this person deserves a little bit of a preface before I bring this out. So this comes from somebody we know as, you and I both know him as Big Boss Ben.
Oh, goodness.
For those who don't know who Big Boss Ben is,
he's the big boss.
He's the big boss. Him and his wife, Sarah, one of your very good friends, are the ones who essentially started Snorkel Venture. So this, I'm nervous. Like my heart's pounding.
I'm nervous to hear what he possibly.
I've already heard it. I listened to it
And you're still nervous, so that doesn't bode well for me.
Yeah, no, but this is good.
Okay.
And I get nervous just being around Big Boss. But anytime he calls, he's such an overpowering presence.
Absolutely.
And just very intimidating being.
Strict.
Which you'll all get to
experience
here now.
Hey Bernita, hey Alex. I hope you're having a great time in Mexico. Bernita, Alex told me you'd be doing your podcast today, and he said it would be good for me to call in and leave a message. And I asked him what sort of thing he'd like, and he said, why don't you ask her about the most embarrassing thing that's happened to her in front of guests? And I said, well, what if she doesn't tell the story I want her to tell? And he said, well, why don't you tell it then?
Oh, no.
So I said, what you want me to do is call into the podcast, leave an embarrassing story about Bernita, and then go. And he said, yes. So I said, well, you're the boss of podcasts, Alex.
Oh, no.
That's what I'll do. And I've got a story. I've known Bernita 20 years, but there's one particular story that I think really highlights how far Bernita is willing to go to make sure guests have an enjoyable, fun and funny time on tour. So we met in 2005 in Malaysia, and I'd just finished my instructor course, and Bernita had just come into the end of her dive master. So she is in charge of the guests for the day. We have a great first couple of dives in the morning, and then we go for lunch, and we come back, and everybody's getting off the jetty into the boat. Bernita untethers the boat from its mooring line, climbs down the ladder, and she puts one foot on the ladder and the other foot on the front of the boat, the bow of the boat. She starts doing her briefing. I'm sat at the back of the boat, kind of playing around my dive computer. She starts talking. It's a calm day, but the boat starts to move away from the jetty. And as it starts to do that, I just look up and go, oh, this could be interesting. And Benita's 2 feet are getting further and further away from her. And I'm looking at her face, and then she realises at this point that it's going to be very difficult for her, A, to get back on the boat, because she just could be hanging on for dear life in front of the guests, or we either leave her at the ladder, neither of which is an ideal situation. And then she realises that she's going in. I think we all realise that she's going in. She starts smiling, and there's 2 ways she can go in at this point. She can either put her 2 feet together and go in a kind of pike style with a little splash, or she can do what we were all hoping she would do, which is fall spectacularly into the water. And so she puts her arms up, her legs are splayed, and she kind of tips forward, basically like rotates full forward, and splashes face first into the water, a bit like dropping a starfish into the water. And it was just a brilliant moment, really, of watching her hold it all together and then decide that the best way for her to go in is the funniest way. And we all had a very good giggle. And I think it just really shows how far Benita's willing to go to make sure everybody has a good time. So that's my story. That's one of my favourite moments of travelling with Bernita. I'm sure everybody's got their own. Feel free to call into the next podcast and share your own if you want. But that's mine. Thanks very much, Bernita, for all you do, and hopefully see you soon.
I remember it well. It was long ago.
Do you have any? Is that story told accurately?
No, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It was. And
just
it
a
was
face
in
plant.
front. It was like at the jetty, at the fishing village of this island that we lived on, and the fishing village was like a very religious place. The rest of the island was not, and all the people were on the jetty as they do. It was just mortifying, but very funny.
Was it just an eruption of applause and laughter from the villagers as they watched you
applause.
starfish into the water?
Totally, but
nice.
It was,
I mean, I'm happy to say I've never done anything like that.
Obviously.
So, obviously.
Perfect as you are.
Yeah. But Ben's going to be having a podcast here pretty soon.
So I'll start thinking, I've got some great Ben stories. You should have thought about that before you sent in any about me.
Yes, so keep thinking of them, whittle them down, make a spreadsheet. So I think that just about does it, Bernita.
Brilliant.
We literally have to go watch the Mexico versus,
Yes?
is it Equator?
Oh my God.
I think they're playing Ecuador tonight.
I want to teach you how to speak as well.
We're going to go have dinner with the guests and watch the Mexico versus Ecuador soccer game. Football match.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Bernita.
Thank you, Alex.
I'll see you I'll see you every day for the next week.
And then in 2 weeks' time, every day for 10 days. You said lucky.
And then see you in Chandawasi.
Yeah.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Whale shots, whale shots.
We're done.
See you
Done.
guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Cut. Just into that, like that's how you end the
That
podcast,
is
just
how you-
awkwardly.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just-
there's no an awkward way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay.
Ecuador. I mean, what? Ecuador.